My job is not to convince people that I'm worthy of listening to. I don't. That's not. I'm not. That's not the goal. I know about my PhD. They told me I had a PhD 25 years ago. My job is to preach to the choir and give courage to the choir. That's it. My job is to speak to the people that understand, that kind of get it. Maybe it's because you had, I noticed, for example, I noticed that there are a lot of women in the class who listen to me because their father was like me or their grandfather used to talk like me, right? So if you grew up in a household where men's voices were not respected, you may not want to hear me. You may think that I'm mansplaining or whatever. But if you had a grandfather or an uncle that gave you good advice, then you're like, oh yeah, I know, I can listen to this guy even if I disagree with him because my uncle, I used to disagree with my uncle, but my uncle loved me and my uncle had some wisdom, so I appreciate what he had to say. You get what I'm saying, right? So ultimately, I know that this kind of conversation is not for everybody. I know that some folks are not going to feel comfortable with it, but it's not my job to persuade them. I'm not a persuader. I'm not a bridge builder. I'm a mobilizer. And what that means is that it's my job to sit there and look you in the eye and say, okay, you know what you need to do. You know what direction you got to go. Give me a yes if you're in this category. Let me know if you're convinced that wealth is important for the survival and the prosperity of the Black community. Give me a yes if you understand the value of education. Give me a yes if you are convinced, if you understand where family plays a role in wealth. That breaking up families is a way to go backward financially. You go backward financially if you're breaking up families. You don't move ahead, right? Let me know if you understand how even poor physical and mental health, not taking care of your physical health will destroy you financially. Big pharma come up in there like Big Worm and Debo both showing up at your house taking all your money, right? In capitalism, they got a whole bunch of big worms out here. They call them the Trumps and they call them the Zuckerbergs and the oligarchs, but they got a whole bunch of big worms and Debos. If you remember the movie Friday, you know the reference, and they'll show up on your front porch, beat you up, and take everything you got. You don't take care of your mental health. Your mental health, your lack of mental health, and your lack of balance is going to make you a bad investor. You're going to buy stock and sell. You're going to have a trauma response every time your stock goes south, right? And you're going to sell it all, and you're going to, go broke, right? Or you're going to miss out on your opportunity. So mental health is important, or you're going to have a good family and a good woman that loves you, and because you never took the time to learn how to be the kind of man that fits into a family, you're going to have a trauma response. She's going to say something, and you're going to get mad and go berserk, and next thing you know, that good woman's going to leave, and she's going to be replaced by a bunch of people who don't care nothing about you, and you end up dying alone or whatever, right? So ultimately, mental health, physical health, all these things, family, all these things matter. I saw somebody mention the Rothschilds. The Rothschilds are really interesting. If you want to see it one day, we should just get together and we should just do that. We used to do these black movie nights. I don't know if y'all remember that, but we got to do another one soon. And I think what we're gonna do is we'll just get together and just watch a movie. I saw this fascinating YouTube film on the Rothschilds. Lord Jesus, if you want to see an example of how family builds wealth, you got to see that. The Rothschilds, they had a father that was a visionary who said, "Oh, I don't have any money, but I got an asset. My asset is my sons." So he trained his sons. First thing he did was he trained his sons on some of the principles we talk about in my book, The Ten Commandments of Black Economic Power. He trained his sons that there's nothing more important in your life that you will ever have that's more important than being a Rothschild.